It's 3, 2, 1. Count.
We are live on a Thursday evening,
May 2nd, 2019.
9:27 p.m.
Yeah, getting it. Oh, 8:27.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I don't have my glasses on.
On contact.
or contacts.
All right, man. So, what do we have in store for you folks? Quite a bit. Different topics from all over the place. More recently, we just got back from Sacramento. For those of you that followed us on Facebook and Instagram Live, we are realtors by name. And, we took a trip down to Sacramento. And what are your thoughts on it?
We're just jumping right into it, huh?
All day.
So, guys, real quick before we get there and start getting into that, make sure you are following our YouTube page at Put a Stamp on It. I want to give a couple shout outs. One, I want to give a shout out to my brother, Andrew Frosto, out in Long Beach. Andrew did the logo for us, came up with the design. I want to give a shout out to my cousin, Will, aka The Thrill Frosto. Will came up with the name for the podcast. And if you've seen the video that's been jumping off recently with a little bit of music behind it, shout out to my cousin, Michael Solis. Follow everybody on their social, and then he came up with all the video for us, the content, a little bit of that. So kind of just working as a unit. It's great. Everybody's plugging in, everybody's helping out. So it's coming along. I just want to give those shout outs. Follow the podcast as well. Follow the Facebook page, Put a Stamp on It. We'll be sharing it consistently. Anything helps. Obviously, it's more organic. We want it to grow as much as possible. Follow our Instagram page. So again, it's just pretty much a show about a little bit of this, a little bit of that, kind of some things that we deal with during the week, work, entrepreneurship, motivation.
Random ideas that come to mind.
80s
but
and 90s.
Most importantly, this will not work if you do not turn on your notifications. So that way, when we do go live, you can stop what you're doing, because we're about to ruin the image and the style that you're used to. So come on through, turn on notifications and stay tuned, all right? You'll be pleasantly surprised, trust me.
Yeah, this doesn't work if you're not watching and you're not participating with us. Anybody who just spends whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4, an hour even with us, a couple minutes, we really appreciate your time. And a lot of the feedback that we're getting from a lot of our friends and family that have been watching. So again, follow us. So back to your question, Jose, man, we went to the state capitol. That was my second time. That was your first.
Yeah, it was.
It was called Legislative Day.
And that actually goes on all week. We went for 2 days,
Yes.
but it's the entire week. And I must say, I was actually thoroughly surprised at the fact that how much realtors actually have an effect in that aspect of Congress, right?
Oh,
Just being at the Capitol. It was very enlightening, man. If you don't know, you need to know the difference between the Senate and then you got the
Assembly.
The Assembly.
It's just a lot of history. I mean, even if you have a chance to just go tour the Capitol just for any particular reason, you should. That got me to go for a second year, but it's really cool. You go down to Sacramento, you find out a lot of people actually haven't been to Sacramento. On the bus ride up, everybody was like, "I've never even been to Sacramento," and then you get there, and I mean, it's beautiful. It's an amazing downtown area that we were at, and then just to be able to walk the Capitol, get a tour, hear everything they have to say about the stories, about putting it all together.
Man, that was
the cost of it alone, the architect, everything that goes involved with that, and then just not just that, just being there, hanging out with, like you said, assemblymen, assemblywomen, senators, all that.
Senators, everyone's there. Everyone that gets involved. You got senators, assemblymen. It's really cool, and I really appreciate that a lot more because they're human just like us. So
a lot of great appetizers.
Oh yeah, delicious. The drinks were actually pretty good. The coffee. Sorry for spilling a little bit of milk on you, but
yeah, that'll work. It's all right. But overall, fun trip. Had fun with everybody that went. Shout out to the Bakersfield Board of Realtors and the YPN. Hey,
oh, sorry.
Stop clap. Hey, every time Jose claps, take a shot. So, hey, if you want to tune in, be a part of this, feel free to post a comment. We got our sidekick. He's our AKA like Jamie from Joe Rogan.
Only better.
Mr.
Julian.
Julian's off to the side. Julian, pop your head in and say what's up.
What's up?
There you go.
He's working our Google. He's working our page. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. He can ask us the questions and we can go ahead and respond to you guys. Again, we can't do this without you. Make sure you comment and participate. And we are on Instagram Live too as well. Jose, ENDGAME.
Oh my gosh.
For maybe the 100 people who haven't watched it yet,
If that.
get your life together and go.
Crawl out from under that rock.
And go.
The matinee is $6.
$6.
Come on, do yourself a favor.
Look it on Fandango. They don't even ask you for a school ID. Get the extra
At
dollar
all.
off.
Yeah, just
in.
go in.
Just go
Right.
in.
So-
what were your thoughts? Tell me. No spoilers. We'll try to keep the spoilers out of this, but if you've watched it, you'll know.
Yeah, if you watched it, you'll know, and let us know what section of that movie made you shed a tear or two. Okay, now I got a little choked up on a couple parts, right?
I'm assuming that's the part that probably two parts that everybody got choked up on.
Yeah, the two big parts, and all I gotta say is I couldn't believe it. I held my own. I had to keep my composure.
The courage of your conviction hold your own.
Hold my composure, because then if I start bawling, I gotta be strong. And my daughter looked up to me, so she was sitting right next to me, right down, and she's like, "Dad, that was kind of sad." I said, "I know, baby. You love me."
Sir, I think it's okay if you would have cried. I will have to say that most of the people that were commenting on the Facebook page when I posted that, it was a tearjerker, a lot of the guys agreed. I mean, there's a couple people I just talked to just at stores, just in casual conversation, that were like, I shed a tear.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, definitely, I Love You 3000.
All day, baby.
That got me right here.
Oh.
So whether I know if this is a true fact or not, we may have to just Google this, but I got this information from my daughter in the car. I picked her up from school, and she says, "Dad, do you know why they say I love you 3000?
No, why?
So she said that all the Marvel movies add up to 3,000 minutes. That's I don't know where she got this bit of information from, but that was her take on it, and for what she had heard, word on the streets, which is AKA the social media now.
Yeah.
But I'd like to look that up and see if that's true. But I love you.
makes sense.
They're already selling shirts. Have you seen anything in your newsfeed yet?
No, but my daughter starts telling me that now when she goes to bed. "Hey, Dad, I love you 2000." I'm like, "Okay, baby."
By the way, are kind of Tony Stark when you have the 3D glasses on.
Oh, all day, Jarvis. Ooh.
So 3
Yeah.
minutes of a movie. If you watched it, I mean, did it feel like the 3 hours of a movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think to me it didn't. It flew by really, really quick.
Any bathroom breaks in there?
Nope, not at all.
Not one bathroom break.
No, I had towards the last 10 minutes of it, but by that time I said, "I got this."
You just let it go in the seat.
Yeah. I felt my stomach turn a little bit, and I thought, okay, something's gonna drop.
All right.
But I was like, you know what? No, mind over matter. I was like, no, not today, son.
Not today, sir.
Johnson. So no, man, and I was actually surprised. I don't think I saw anybody get up and go to the bathroom.
So I saw it twice. The first time, one bathroom break. I had to. I drank too much water.
Oh my gosh.
I've been hydrating, so I had to make a run for it, come right back. The second time, no bathroom breaks, but I was able to see the part that I did miss, which was nothing big, but again, still part of the movie. Overall, movie was outstanding. I mean,
Fantastic.
3 hours of it wasn't even just action packed, but it was.
No.
I mean, he just put it all together.
Storyline. Yeah, the storyline was fantastic from beginning to end, and they revenued over $1 billion last I heard in 3 days of opening. $1 billion. That's not even including merchandise. That's just
billion.
yeah. Second letter of the alphabet, folks.
Billion.
That is crazy. I mean, the way they're going right now with this finishing off maybe like the first week, I don't know. It might hit $1 trillion by the end of the year. Merchandise and everything included. Think about
But great
it.
movie.
Iron Man, that one's probably going to sell out really quick.
Well, they're putting together that package. I already saw it posting on the social media. It's a whole box set, and I don't remember the amount of movies that were put into the Marvel universe, but it's a whole box set. Has the glove on the front with the Infinity Stones. Yeah, it's a whole the box set of movies that they're going to put together and they're supposed to start distributing.
Wow.
So
I'm just cashing in.
Yeah, but I don't know if I could really do that though. I mean, come on, everything's online. It's all on the cloud. What are you just getting a box with a bunch of downloads for for your cloud?
I mean, you can. Yeah, I mean, but to be honest, how many DVDs have you bought since streaming everything's become available?
I'm more like, how many DVDs have I thrown away?
Right.
I don't use those
You
anymore.
can use them as coaches if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Julian, do you still buy DVDs? No, right?
So what is a DVD?
Yeah, he's like, what? Is this something you eat?
Well, you should have seen it the other day. My kids were like, "Dad, what is this? What are you talking about?" So I go check it out. I'm like, they show me, and I'm like, "Oh, that's the DVD player." They're like, "Oh, well, we got some DVDs we want to watch." And then when they found some in the boxes, and they threw them all, and they started watching them, and then they got off of it just because it was too much cooking back and forth. Yes.
I got a question.
Got a question.
All right. It's from Isaiah Medina. How should you start real estate at first in Bakersfield? Also, can you do it part-time?
All right, good question. Isaiah Medina is asking, how do you start real estate and can you do it part-time? You want to answer that first?
Yeah, easy. You can do real estate part-time, but like anything else, you get what you put in. You go and have part-time, you get part-time results. So the way it was put to me before, if you want to dive in and take that blind leap of faith, how old is he? Is he showing there? How old is he?
20.
He's 20, still young. So you can get into real estate, but the main thing you got to ask yourself, what's your why? Why do you want to get into it, right? It's been glamorized so much, I think, that people think I can get into real estate, make a lot of money, go to any real estate firm, and it's just going to rain leads, and I'm just going to be cashing in, balling out. I'm sorry, it does not work that way. You got to be smart, and not only that, but you have to be coachable, because people that aren't coachable, really, do you think those people last that say, I'm gonna do it on my own, I can do this, I got this?
Makes it a lot harder. I mean, like you said, I think, it's whatever you put into it, and that's kind of with anything, whether it's family, gym,
right?
Any form of education, anything you're going to put into it, you're going to get back. I think a lot of the times the hardest part is just being honest with yourself and what it's going to take to get there.
Yeah.
My advice, Isaiah, first thing is just focus on taking the classes. So you want to figure out what works best for you. There's a lot of online courses you can take. I went and just took the class in person just to get through it. Generally that process is going to take somewhere between 4 to 6 months to just get you through the testing.
From beginning to end.
Yeah, and beginning to end, getting through the state and for them to just issue your license after taking your test. And then from there, you're going to want to pick out a brokerage that you work for. So it's a little different. It's not like a regular job where you go get interviewed and they're hiring you. You're basically interviewing the brokerage to work with them. To see, are you guys a good fit for each other? Now, I will give you, only from my experience, I've been in real estate for 4 years, going to my 5th year next year, March. I've sold over 100 homes. I think somewhere maybe like around 135, maybe 140 now. I could be here or there, give or take. I went all in, to answer your question about going all in, I went all in. I quit my job. And I sat with a great coach, mentor that helped me out for 6 months. His name's Lee Barrison. I works with the Infinity Real Estate Group. Actually, he's the broker of that company. So when I worked there, I sat with him for 6 months and just watched everything he did. He took me on appointments. I read scripts. I mean, basically, the way I learned was you're successful at what you're doing. So just tell me what to do and I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Like, let's just keep it simple. I don't need to overthink it. Let me just do that. So then from sitting here with him for 6 months, I finally got my license. It was a no-brainer. I obviously want to work with you. And then from there, that helped accelerate it. But again, had I not done that, that would have been detrimental to my business. And I don't think I would have even have been able to produce at a high level. And what that really created was a consistency. It gave me a rhythm. It gave me a schedule. When you get into real estate or just any type of job where you're going to be your own business owner, what you realize is that you get into it because 1, you don't want a boss. 2, you want to make your own income and have it be unlimited. And then 3, you want to write your own schedule. But what do you usually find out with that? If you aren't responsible and you are your own boss, you're going to let yourself off the hook because you're going to make excuses. Yep. Money isn't just going to come hand over fist like you would think it would come. And then if you have to write your own schedule, it's going to be hard right now just because you're probably going to want to take a lot of time off and you're going to tell yourself why you deserve to be off. When 100% you need to just get in there and grind it out. But overall, get in there, take that class, find yourself a good mentor or somebody to work with. My biggest advice 100% is go to the brokerage and ask them who sells the most homes here. How long have they been in real estate? And then ask them who's been in real estate the shortest amount of time and who's sold the most homes. And what's their average agent produce? Because you have to get real numbers. If they're going to tell you, well, this agent's been in business for 20 years and they're selling 50 houses a year, well, how long did it take him to sell 50 houses? Or would you rather get the advice from the guy that says, hey, I've been in business for 3 years or 4 years or 5 years, and I'm producing 30, 40 every year on average. It's going to be easy for you to relate to that guy because that guy's so much closer to your struggle when it comes to finances, just the ups and downs of everything like that. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts is, yeah, that's true. Some people that have been in the game for X amount of years, they've done it. They've been through the business, the ups and downs, so they figured out their way. After 15 years, let's just say 20 years like that, or even let's just say closer to 10 years, they've been in the business long enough. They've been through the ups and downs and everything's cyclical. They get a lot of repeat business because they've done the hard work. They've done everything that you want to do. So now they can sit back and have a lot more of a relaxed schedule to know that business is going to come to them because they've already put in the hard work within the first 5 years of their tenure, that they can say, okay, cool, I don't have to work as hard, but they still work. So I do agree. You need to find someone that's really hungry and knows what they're doing.
Well, you need to find somebody that will mirror what your personality is too.
Exactly.
Well. Don't go with a friend. Don't go with a friend or a family member if they don't have your best interest and you're just going out of just because it's comfortability. Yeah. And I trust that they have my best interest. No, well, after your first 6 months or a year, if you're not cashing a paycheck and you haven't learned nothing, do they really have your best interest? Or maybe they just don't know how to train, because there's a lot of people in real estate that aren't sales driven, that aren't coach driven or leadership driven, that's just naturally how it is, so it's hard sometimes to give advice to other people or even care to give that advice. So again, look for somebody that you want to just cut that time down to get the information from and deal with, that's going to help give that to you. And the crazy thing is, you're going to find out that most people that are top sales producers are so willing to give back. They're so willing to help you. They're so willing to point you in that direction. But again, you got to show up though. That's
number one.
That's
okay.
Key. Just show up.
As much as you want it, you can say you want it, but your actions speak so much about your determination to get from point A to point B. Right? So if you don't show up and you don't ask questions, how am I supposed to read someone else's mind that says, hey, I want this? Now, if you don't want to be a top producer, say, hey, you know what? I don't want to sell 50. I don't want to sell 100 homes. I just want to sell 10 homes because that's all I want. Okay, that's great.
Well, you got to work on and that kind of comes to working on your end game. I mean, you have to reverse engineer it. And shout out to Gary Vaynerchuk always saying that's where I heard that from. But you have to say, okay, well, and if you want to work part time, you can. I mean, if your goal is to work part time because you want to make X amount of money, let's just say you want to make an extra 15, 20, 30,000 a year. You can as a part-time agent. So consider what goes into making that. Then consider how many houses you have to sell and at what price level you have to sell them and what you should be doing all week. Possibly because you're going to do that and then you're just going to invest your money into maybe another business. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about our business is that you can go invest into other stuff, whether you want to get into any other type of business. This always can be your foundation. Selling houses just isn't my passion. There's other stuff I'm passionate about. This is just the foundation of what I'm consistently successful at currently right now. Yeah. And I always got to strive to get better and better.
And with that said, once you do get the foundation, I mean, you can branch out and do whatever you want, but you really have to stick to your guns and go all in.
Yeah.
Do the hard work, because trust me, I see plenty of agents that are in the game long enough, man, and they make it look easy, but it's not. They've been in my shoes before. They know the struggle, like, hey, don't worry, you're going to be just fine. But if you don't come in and put the work and just expect, okay, what can you give me?
Yeah.
Help me out. No, you need to help yourself out. And the thing is I think a lot of people nowadays don't like to be told the truth because they're, oh man, you're an asshole. Man, that's not cool. Hey, throw me a bone. No, I'm going to show you how to fish. You just have to show up so that way I can show you how to fish.
Yeah.
Speaks for itself.
So we got 2 follow-up questions from Isaiah. First one being, what are the benefits of being a realtor? And second, what kind of person should be a realtor be?
Man, we'll sum it up real quick because we got a couple other questions over here too.
Yeah.
So now, as far as what type of personality, there's all kinds of personalities. You don't have to have my personality, his personality. There's people that aren't good, that are kind of shy.
Yeah.
But still, they have their own style of real estate. There's no one perfect style.
A couple suggestions, I think, as far as personality goes. One thing and it's free, you can do it. Tony Robbins has a disc personality test, and what that will do is you take it. I think this one's only like it's a little less than 50 questions. I could be wrong, but anyways, the questions are all geared towards identifying your personality, what type of personality you are, in your natural state, and in which you are in your stress state, and then also how to interact with those opposite personalities. Go to Tony Robbins, Google it, just Tony Robbins DISC personality test, DISC personality test, and take that test, and then see what type of personality you are, and that's going to help you also identify who maybe you want to work with who has a similar personality or offsets your personality. Sometimes you got to work together like honey and vinegar. You got to have both personalities, PB and J, they just go good together. The other thing would be, what's the benefit of being in real estate? I just think real estate makes the world go round. So, the economy crashed and all that crashed. I mean, what was at the forefront of it? And it seems like businessmen, entrepreneurs, anybody that you read about in these books, in those books, have some form of grasp on real estate. They whether they're doing the residential side, the commercial side, or just investing, it's just a good license to have, and just to have in your back pocket, and just always keep there just in case you need to use it. But again, it's really just going to depend on what you want to do as far as your business goes.
And you know what? Would you agree that there's some movies that give you more of an insight of what it takes to be an entrepreneur? Period.
Somewhat.
Movies like The Wolf of Wall Street is kind of wild. For me, was the movie The Founder. Right? Everyone looks at McDonald's and thinks, "Wow, McDonald's, they sell a lot of burgers and fries."
Yeah.
But when you look down at the basis of it, the gentleman actually found out he was going bankrupt selling burgers and hamburgers. And in hindsight, he realized, holy crap, every McDonald's sits on what? Land. And who buys the land? Businessmen. What are they? They're realtors and investors, right? Every billionaire that you see on Instagram or on Facebook, I can assure you 110% has stocks in portfolios of homes, apartment complexes, all that is real estate. So you really have to ask yourself, what do you want to do? How do you want to get your piece of real estate or not, right? Because I can show you this. There's always going to be plenty of people. There's not going to be a lot of land. So if you can tie into an apartment complex or a home or something in your back pocket, trust me, that is one of the best investments you can do for yourself. Yeah. Not only now, but for the future, trust me, it will be well worth it. Okay. Now we have a couple people over here on Instagram that are following us. Switching topics. Let me see. We got Ciariano7. He says 11 years ago today, Iron Man was the first MCU movie to hit theaters. Wow. And you know what? The funny thing about him is, if most people don't know Robert Downey Jr., he was actually struggling, man.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hard life.
That's a good story. A good story was Robert Downey Jr.
Comeback story.
Oh,
everyone loves a comeback story.
And he got it together.
Yeah.
Well, now from everything that he was doing in the 80s, he was part of the Brat Pack, right? Wasn't that it? In the 80s?
He was partying it up, living it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay. I mean, you can Google it.
Real quick, shout out. We got another gentleman here in the building. Pop in front real quick. We got Mikey Fresh, aka Mikey Solis.
It's good. We're making these guys look good.
Hey, on audio and video.
Audio and video. They already look good and sexy.
You dig?
I'm containing over here.
Hey, now.
So, you brought something up about movies. I think there's a lot of feel-good movies that you can watch that stick out. It's funny. Like this week when we were out in Sacramento, I was able to hang out with my buddy Dave Smith.
Ooh, Dave Smith!
Shout out Dave Smith, aka Suge White. Man, that guy hired me into sales, and I was probably early 20s, got into sales, and really kind of just put me under his wing when it came to just what it took. And again, I just followed him right into it. But it's fun to talk about all the old stuff, and we were all going back and forth about different movies like Wolf of Wall Street, Boiler Room, Gary Again, Ross, Coffees for Closers. I mean, anything that has to do with that type of feel-good entrepreneurship. Again, it's Hollywood, so they're going to take it over the top, and they're going to do some things. And that's always it's funny that you mentioned that, because whenever we used to hire people, we would always interview and we would ask them, so what are your thoughts about car salesmen?
Yeah.
And I would love to ask people that. And then the person I'm interviewing for a sales position would always, oh, I hate car salesmen. I just can't stand them. As soon as you get on the lot, they start bugging you. They're real negative about them, right?
Yeah.
First thought was like, I think we cut off of this.
Yeah.
Because you're in your way the whole time. Like most of the time, what do you always hear people say when it comes to talking to a client or trying to build rapport to sell something or cold calling or door knocking? What is the one thing they always associate with?
Oh, like a telemarketer? Like, no.
Well, I wouldn't want to do it myself, or I wouldn't want somebody talking to me like that.
Yeah.
Or, I wouldn't feel comfortable in that, so you're already in your own way. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it takes a certain mindset. Even people that I've talked to, we've talked to quite a bit of people that come in the office that want to do this and see what we do. And they either, you're right, they get in their own way. They get in their head that, you know what, I can't do that. They're too good. And
no, it's not that. It's
they just don't want to do the hard work.
No, it's not. They put. No, not even that.
Yeah, it is.
They put they're in their head. It's their ego, right?
Yeah.
Like everybody says, your ego's not your amigo.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want somebody to cold call me. I would just hang up on them.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's 1 out of the 35 we're gonna call today, and I only need one person to say yes.
Yeah.
I always say if you want to get into sales and you think you have what it takes, great. Let's just go to the Valley Plaza and go lay down on the floor in front of everybody. Let's see how much out of your way you are. Because once I can't do this and I'm embarrassed. Like, you know what? You won't do whatever it takes to feed your family. So don't say it.
You know what? I wonder. Think about that though. Imagine if we did just go in a suit. Imagine me in a suit just laying down at the mall with business cards. When someone comes up, hey, I'm a realtor. I got your attention. Want to buy a home?
Yeah.
I mean,
it sounds crazy, but the thing is, it conditions you. To most, it sounds crazy. Would you go lay down in the middle of the mall?
No.
Right?
All right. I'm like, wait a minute.
But it conditions you to get over that.
Yeah.
It's just getting over the fear. Once you get over the fear of being in your head,
110%.
then you can do something. Then you can do something else, and then you can do something else, and it just kind of escalates because now you keep pushing that level up of going further and going further. Like I never liked to cold call. I don't like to door knock. I never even like to greet people in the mall. But I knew one thing: if I did that, the best. But I was competitive. I knew that the best guys were doing it at a high level. So if I want to get what they have, no brainer. I gotta do it.
Yeah, it's not hard, but I think some people do make it more complicated than it should be. And honestly, and one thing about fear, I wanted to kind of change subjects a little bit. One thing about fear, and I want to give shout outs to all the teachers out there. Because teachers, I feel, are unappreciated for a lot of things that they do. And I think society as a whole has kind of turned on it. And what I mean by that is just the fact that kids or adolescents, teenagers, I think they become so aware of their rights, which is a good thing. But it's bad because you get all these students that talk back to the teachers, you can't touch me. And they curse them. You see it all the time.
Is it aware of their rights or is it self-entitlement?
No, I think it's a little of both, to be honest, because and I think, I don't know, maybe I'm old school. I'd never talk back to my teacher because I know my mom would slap the crap out of me knowing I did that just for the sheer fact that I disrespected another person. Now, do you feel that as society now, that disrespect is kind of starting to flow away and it's like, you said, like an entitlement now?
Yeah, I think it's entitlement. I think because, well, this is just my opinion, but
yeah,
I feel that because a lot of the parents are working full-time jobs and they can't be there, and they're with just what it costs to live, the amount of, 2 people have to work in order to pay the bills, and then it's in and out, and then the bills you do have are like babysitting, and you're paying for babysitting. Someone to babysit your kid in order just to go to work, and then you finally get into the school system, and by that time, when they're entitled, they're just like, because nobody's challenging them, or I won't even say checking them, or just generally trying to confront them, or even just show them failure, like that they failed at something, participation ribbons and trophies, and it's okay, pat on the back, like there's not even. I'm not saying bullying is fine, but there should be a little bit of hazing. That's when you're getting your life experiences that are going to set you up for here. So then when you always feel like it's, I should just be able to get this. And then not only that, I mean, you look at social media and on Instagram, everybody's driving a nice car and everybody's a coach and everybody can tell you how to get this and like, sign up for this for a couple bucks and I'm gonna show you how to ball out or be successful in this field. And it's crazy because it's that in every field there's somebody selling them that program because they're making money off of it. Yeah. So what happens is now there's nobody wants to wait the long game. Everybody wants it now, and then when they're told not now, it's like, well, it's everybody else's fault. It's not my fault. Exactly. I deserve it. I should get this. Really?
Now, do you think because of that, the way the kids act, do you think it starts from home? Do you think a lot of the old school fashion values have kind of been watered down to where the parents are working so much that they don't have time to educate their kid and show them how to, if you're a guy, like I said, I'm old school, open the door for the lady or pulling the seat out or saying thank you or I appreciate it or even most important, I'm sorry.
No.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
When's the last time you heard a kid apologize or something?
Right.
I mean, we've gone to restaurants.
It's actually more surprising when you hear him apologize.
Yeah, like, wait a minute. Wait, hey, you from here? Can I get this kid a dessert? Don't put on my tab. I mean, because it's becoming so much of, I think that that's an important part of human nature to actually just be nice to someone.
I think a lot of it is kids are now raising kids.
Yeah.
It's getting further and further from the core values, if that was then at that time. But also too, I mean, you figure, I won't say we're the last generation, I could be wrong about the actual time frame of it, but I mean, we were around when there was no phones, when there wasn't internet.
Yeah.
Like we were around when we still had to have conversations and further. We've talked about this before, but we were around when we were able to see both of them. So we were able to see what it was like then when I mean, you'd go over to a barbecue and everybody was participating and hanging out and drinking, dancing, listening to music, and families just stood there and they hung out all day. I mean, shoot, Mike, we would love for our dads to just kick it and drink because then we knew that they were going to drink all night. And then not only were they going to keep cooking food, but we would just be able to go back in the house and we were all spending the night. Everybody's hanging out.
Yeah.
Good times, man. How often does that happen? Now it's like, oh, I got to get home because of this, or I have to get here because of this, or I got to watch this. Everything is created to be so mobile and everything's created to be so in your hands and you got it now that it's actually disconnected each other from everything, the furthest from it. So now as the younger generations are having the kids, they're only teaching from what they know. And then the next generation is going the same way. And it's just getting further and further. Now, am I going to say it's right or wrong? Well, no, I'm just kind of in the middle of it because you're going to be a fool, I think, to always try to hang on to the past and the future is going to miss you.
Right.
You got to adjust to it. You just have to adjust to the fact that this is it. Let me just control what's in my control.
Well, yeah, but I think that you got to bring some of that with you. You got to teach the young generation what you've been taught, at least your core values, because I think anything that you have to learn the past, and it sounds cliche, you have to know where you're at to know where you're going, right? Mm-hmm. So I feel the same thing with the younger generation. If you teach them respect, love, not only other people, but loving themselves, right. I mean, dude, well, it'd be fantastic, but teach them
going forward, but don't harp on it so much.
Yeah, exactly.
Like where you spend half your time being pissed off about why the world's not the same way it is.
Yeah, no,
it isn't.
Hey, look, it's changing.
Get over it, control what you can.
Right? Yeah.
That's like whenever I'm at a restaurant and I hear people, oh, I can't believe they're on their phone. Okay, that was like that last year and the year before. Get over it. They're on their phone.
Yeah.
That's just how it is now. That's just you can have them get off their phone, instruct them to. They're not mind your business. That's like, what else?
I mean, most people.
That's all you can.
No, they're all into that cheeseman. Cheeseman sells. There it is.
Any questions? Any questions? Anybody?
Line up. So, let me see here.
So today I asked a couple questions that I threw onto my Facebook just to kind of see some things. I had asked, how do you overcome rejection? I wanted to see what some of our people said. Bradley Rodman, another high entrepreneur, top producer I used to work with. Actually, he used to manage me. He says, what's this rejection that you speak of? Never heard of it. That 100% identifies who he is. Rejection, what is that? Jeffrey Hill, he said crying and tequila. Mike Young said by being humble. Ernesto Gomez, I definitely don't want to say what he said, but if you're my thread, he says something until you fall asleep. Edward, please share what you do, Gary. I can get to that. Sam Solis, my cousin, put in the Rocky Balboa inspirational speech.
You know what?
That's a dope speech.
Yeah.
100%. Lee Barrison, punch it in the throat. Again, you can tell who does sales with their quick reactions to it. Ozzy, take a break, get frustration out of your body, then get back on with a positive attitude and with an enthusiasm. Earl Nightingale said, attitude is number one. Priscilla Jeanette Barrera, love wins, God is good, and being there when you get rejected. Well, it's good to be there when you get rejected. And Elizabeth Frosto, rejection must be handled with sincere, constructive criticism. Embrace, learn till rejection no longer exists. So how do I deal with rejection? And I want you to answer that too. But just accept it happened, and be okay with having rejection, and be okay with just the rejection of what you felt at that moment, and just say, hey, you know what, I failed, but I could fail 10,000 times. I only need to succeed once.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's just, rejection can be a touchy subject to some people, but I think it's when you let it overpower you. Rejection, oh man. Whether it's talking to that girl or, hey, I didn't get that job, you know what? That's okay. Don't take that L as a loss. Take it as a lesson. I've heard that before. Said that before. Because rejection, it's only going to be for so long. If you just push through it, trust me, it sucks. We've all been there. We've all been rejected at some point in time. Whether we didn't get that job we were applying for, we didn't get accepted to that school, that girl didn't like me because she didn't like whatever. Or even, hey, I didn't get that car I wanted, I didn't qualify, my credit was low, whatever the case may be, get over it, grasp it, okay, this is what happened, okay, this is what I'm going to do differently, and move forward. I think a lot of people get stuck in that mindset that, oh man, the world's over, it's not going to happen for me anymore.
Well,
I'm just a bust. But I think you really have to flip the switch on it, and most people, I've known plenty of people that stay stuck in that rut and say, well, for me, I can't do it because I don't talk as much as you do, or I don't make as much money as you do. Man, it's just what you do with what you got. Be happy with it and move forward, okay? All that Instagram, the Facebook stuff that you see, yeah, it's great. Dan Bilzerian, happy guy, he does what he does, right? But you can't let that be your future. Now, you can fight to work toward to get somewhere to where he's at, or emulate certain people that are successful, and just go with it. Now, you know what? I got a question for you. Do you think it's easier to be a good person or a bad person?
Do you think it's easier to be a good person or a bad person?
Yeah, which one would be easier?
Kind of stump me there.
Ask yourself that.
I think it's easier to be a bad person.
100%. Right? It's way easier because when you don't care about anything else, no, not so much as selfish. You just, you can care about other people, but, either squash someone down or just curse up a storm, do whatever. Well, it's harder to be a good person.
I love that you brought that up because, again, something I posted the other day was, you got to accept your, I think it was like your downside, your downfalls, and just, hey, this is my failure, and I'm gonna push past it. And what I mean by that, or things that you're not really well at. So I had, a lot of my time that I've had to realize, like, I've been a selfish person, and at times I tend to put myself first, and I'm not afraid to say that, and you can think whatever you want, but I feel like that takes power away from things. The more you're able to admit what the flaws are, and then it doesn't mean nothing anymore, because then you can see the progression of how you get better. It's different when somebody just tunes out and doesn't even try to fix it.
100%.
And it's better when you're always consistently trying to make progress, because once you're just stuck in that one place in your own ways, you're not going to get any better. And of course, things are going to work. But if you start focusing on, well, how can I become a better person? And ask people like, well, what can I do? Or why do you do that? And I think that's why we work good together, because, I see a lot of things you do as a dad and being there. We've had conversations driving up to events, and how you're there consistently for your family, and your life works around that schedule. Things that just when you walk into a room, everybody, there's a certain amount of energy, and you just can talk to anybody, and you're friendly with them. I don't care how old, how young, you can just have a conversation with them. And that to me is a skill that I never developed, right? Because I felt like when I got into sales, it became so competitive that I was just like, it's me, and I'm gonna get with my team, and if you ain't on the team, then you ain't with us. And it was always that I'm gonna go for it mentality, and I go for your throat. Like if we're talking trash, I'm trying to go for your throat. I want you to cry. Like, you know, and
That's true.
If we're going head to head, I don't want you to win. You know, you don't feed your family too bad for you. I feed mine. But over the years of, honestly, right when I got into real estate, I was like, you know what, I gotta get better at this. And luckily enough, I put myself around certain people that I see that give back a lot. You know, people like Kyle. I mean, Kyle giving a part of his commission checks, you know, to the church.
Yeah.
You know,
that's big.
Giving back. Our broker, Tony, giving back. I mean, even my ex-broker, you know, Lee, I would see him write checks to organizations just to help out. You know, we would go give turkeys out for Thanksgiving and stuff. So I guess, again, you know, don't ever be ashamed of the things that you're maybe not good at now, but just get them out, announce them. The more you say them, the more power you take away from them, and just work on it.
Yeah.
Because if you just keep lying to yourself, in the end, when you're looking in the mirror, you can't even trust yourself. That's tough.
Yeah, that's real tough. And from you, you know, thank you, man. I really appreciate all that. But on the flip side, from what I learned from you.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, man.
Not today.
That's for my property.
I know.
That's a liar.
So here's the thing, like from you, because you know, stuff that you take away from me.
Yeah.
I know you said you're selfish. I really do believe that every now and again you have to be selfish a little bit, right? And I think when I encompass that, I was like, you know what, that's true. I need to look out for myself because, you know, I work hard, and most of the time, like most dads, you get caught up, oh, I gotta take care of this, take care of this.
Yeah.
But I never have that me time, right? So yeah, I'll go out to eat by myself once in a great while, but I'll treat myself to something or my family something because I feel like I'm gonna go ahead and do that.
Yeah. And
I think that the competitiveness has always been inside me, but then I was scared to show it because to me, the way I was raised, oh, don't do that. You're just being selfish. That's way too greedy. And then I went and met you, and I thought, you know what? This is crazy. It's all right.
Sorry, this place is haunted.
It's not La Llorona. She's fine. She's fine. So, and from you, what I got is just the fact that, you know, you really have to know who you are and just own it, man. Because the minute I realized, you know what, I can do whatever I want if I do it right. Yeah. There's nothing stopping me. And, you know, thanks to you, man, I've actually been able to change my life and actually keep progressing and get more and more. Yeah. That competitiveness of talking trash, I can attest 100%. But I don't cry. I hang in there.
So that's gonna roll to the next topic. Something I posted on Facebook was, do you have a group chat with friends or family that you just talk trash on or slam memes all day? And I'm finding out that it's not just the guys that have it. The women have their own chats too.
Really?
Yeah. And I mean, I'm a part of a couple, but I mean, the group that cracks me up the most is the one that I'm a part of with like some of my close personal friends and my cousins. And literally, if any of our spouses look at it or friends look at it and they're like, how do you guys talk to each other like that and are still friends?
The disrespect.
You guys are so disrespectful to each other.
Yeah, I've seen the thread a couple times, and I gotta say, maybe because I'm a guy and I relate to it, it is hilarious. It's funny shit.
And I found out that my dad, when we were going to Vegas, meeting my dad and my brother, my dad was showing us pictures from his thread. I'm like, dang, you guys talk trash too? I mean, are you kidding me? And the funny part is, like, he shows me the pictures, and they're cutting heads out and cropping each other and putting them out. I mean, like, it's hilarious. Like, it gets so bad to where we literally cut and edit photos of each other, and that's how we're talking trash. So everybody, I think, kind of has one. I don't know if you do. I think that kind of, at this time, kind of gets a lot of stress out, and it just kind of takes you away from reality to back to the good old days when you could just, what was it called? The dozens. You could just let them have it. Oh, your mama's so fat.
Yeah, your mama jokes and your daddy and test tube.
So Vanessa Padilla says, yes, we do. They got their own chat. Obviously, I heard them laughing a lot about that on the way back and up to Sacramento. Shane Birdie says, y'all are both pretty old. Okay, fair enough. Shane, you will be old too. Gus, was it Jacinto? Dan Locke says, don't follow your passion until you've earned to follow it. Nobody's passion involves cold calling and grinding all day. We put in the work and take care of our family before we can do what we are passionate about. Oh man, that's what's up. Again, thanks everybody for participating and watching. We're gonna have this recorded on our podcast too as well, uploaded. It's gonna be on our YouTube page. Follow the YouTube page, put a stamp on it, and just get involved with it. And we would love for you just to continue watching of our episodes. If there's anything you ever wants to talk about,
go ahead and chime in. And be sure, most importantly, turn on your notifications, YouTube, Facebook Live, Instagram, just so that way, in case you want to just jump in, go right ahead for those recapping. Turn on your notifications. Follow us, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, at Put a Stamp on It podcast. You won't regret it, folks. So now, as far as anything else goes, well, let me see. The Dodgers lost. Hey, I'm a Dodger boy, man.
Looks like Logic just dropping this song.
Logic?
Yeah,
he's
it's definitely not in my playlist.
No.
But I have a couple songs by him.
Looks like I'm featured with them, man.
I'm featured with them? Well, any questions off of you on your Instagram?
Not yet.
Let me see. We got anything over here on the Facebook? I think I read off everybody's comments on there. Guys, again, thanks for that. I also posed the question that said, how often do you go shopping for new clothes? Ashley says weekly. Amy says for my daughters, all the time. For me, semi-annual. Leslie says, when I've been eating too much and they no longer fit, in other words, all of the time. Stan says, grab a shirt and a pair of pants every few months. Blue collar, 14-hour days doesn't get me out of the uniform too often. As long as a woman and kid deal what they need, that's fine. Austin Graham agrees with them. And I don't want to say this one, but Monica Solis says she shops all the time.
There's my proof.
No,
myself, yeah, all the time. I have a very bad habit with shopping. I am the type of individual that will go and see one shirt, and it'll be in 3 colors, and I'm just gonna buy all 3 of the shirts just to save time.
Yeah, not me, man. I can't. The last time I bought me an outfit, I might buy a hat occasionally, but for the most part, shirts still. Luckily, I'm still fitting in them, but don't worry. I'm working out, losing these gains so I can fit in them some more. Yeah, man, it's tough. All right, so for those of you that don't know, yes, I know I look like I'm 21, but I'm actually 39. My birthday was April 27th. Yeah.
I didn't know that until
Did it?
today. I thought you were younger than me.
No, man, I'm 39.
Well, we got a little competition going.
39. So 39 years old, so yes, I'm
How old
probably
are
the
you?
oldest one here.
37.
Yeah, he's young.
There's no way you're gonna ever lose that competition unless you die ahead of him,
Oh yeah.
or he dies ahead of you. Is that what it is?
Hey.
Can we edit that out? No.
Yeah. No, but yeah, so yeah, I'm the oldest one. Yeah, I'm 39. You're 35?
I'm 31.
Yeah.
So hold on. So you didn't. Okay. So how old are you?
19.
19. So he still announces his age. Like I generally just have in my 30s. It's like whenever somebody asks how old you are, you're like in my 30s.
Yeah.
Just gotta roll that right into where you're at in my 30s.
And you know what? That brings me to another thing. Okay, people, please do me a favor. Stop using the month system when you're describing a baby that is walking and talking.
It might work for
Hey,
us.
so how old's your baby? Oh, he's 72 months.
Like I'm literally sitting there like
6 years
this,
old,
like,
right?
hey Siri, how many years is 72?
Right? Like, why the month system even? Yeah, he's 14
Maybe it has
months.
something to do with the shots.
He's 2 years old. Like, okay, 3 months, 5 months, okay, but
You should start describing yourself.
Just
How many
say,
months-
hey,
how
you
many
know
months how many months old you are?
oh man, I don't know. I'd be
How many
ancient.
months in 39 years?
How much would it be? 39 times what? 12? How
No,
many
just
months?
ask Siri how many months in 39 years.
You can just use a calculator.
Hey, Siri.
He's smart.
Just use a calculator.
How many years are
The
in
same.
2 months? 6 years.
Huh?
No.
See, you said it wrong. See?
Yeah, he said it wrong.
No, let's just see. 39 times 12 equals, I am 468 months. Wow.
Hey, start telling everybody.
I was just going to say that.
Everybody that.
So how about you? I'm 468 months. You can see the wheels turning. I think I'm 35. No, I said months. Months. Hey, did you know what they call the quarter pounder with cheese in France?
What?
Le Royale with cheese because of the metric system.
And
Pulp
from,
Fiction?
and from there, we're going to move
Pulp
to
Fiction.
what books are people reading? So I got a couple books here.
Just don't count.
Well, just some reads. I think a couple times, usually you throw up posts and hey man, what podcast do you listen to? What books? What's loaded up in there as far as your content goes? A couple things we have on the table. Go for No.
It's a must.
That's a great book. It's a very short read. Again, Go for No is a solid book. I think this has been handed around from a lot of us back and forth.
Yeah.
I started off just hard into watching Gary Vaynerchuk. Like, as Gary V, I mean, that dude documents so much of his life. There's times I've had to get off of it, but then there's times I get back onto it. But he always has so much great content. Anybody that's looking to get into entrepreneurship, and whether it's just getting online, read it. At first, it's gonna be tough to deal with.
Yeah.
Like watching him, listening to him.
Because he's so in your face. Yeah, hi folks, this is Gary Vaynerchuk. Please log in. That's my impression, but I can go on and on. It's signed.
Do got that. Did wait in line. I am a groupie.
You know what? Yeah, we went to Vegas, and he was so adamant. Hey, Gary. Hey, how long am I gonna be here? I got Vaynerchuk. I was at a Mike Ferry event. Yeah.
As soon as that finished, I bought a ticket, Ubered it all the way over there, ran into there for that little sit-in session, listened to people asking questions. Oh yeah,
a little kid with big eyes.
I found the picture somewhere there.
It was good.
What else we got here? The Millionaire Next Door. That's another good book. It's not too long of a read. Get involved in that. Kind of goes through. It says, who are the rich in this country? What do they do? What do they do when they shop? What do they drive? How do they invest? I'll get another little one. If anybody has anything that they want to suggest, man, just post it on there because other people are going to see it. Same thing for IG. I haven't gotten to this one yet. The Mask of Masculinity. I follow this podcast though, and I tend to listen to it here and there. This is a good book. I actually got this for Christmas as a Christmas gift, a stocking stuffer. I got to get into this.
Does it have pictures?
No pictures. Again, or I got to download the audio. I'm not going to lie, I'm not a book reader. I may buy the book and try to start reading it, but I'm an audio guy. Miracle Morning again. Have you read this?
Can't do it. The Miracle Morning? Not yet.
I read half of this, and then I downloaded the audio. This was another good.
It was a good listen, folks.
It was a great listen. The Miracle Morning is another one. That was given another gift. Here's a big one. If you're in real estate, or even if you're not in real estate, I think everybody just kind of got this one. This one was handed out from my past broker to all of us pretty much. I think got us all copies. The One Thing. Looking to get into real estate, get this book. Hey, get this book. I'll actually let you use it. Just bring it back. I've let people use books before.
Yeah.
Sorry if we're not showing the book over to IG. I'll let him do that. 7 Habits of Effective People. This is the personal workbook, but the book is over there on my bookshelf. That's another one you need to get involved with. They got the handbook for you. A lot of successful people pass this on to each other. And here's another big one. And I know, this gets handed around a lot. And I mean, we know some people that have participated in this. Our brokers handed this book to me, handed it to a lot of the agents in our office to read. And then also, I mean, there's people I know that are actually taking classes here. I think you said you started reading this book too, right?
I have it at home.
Okay.
My brother, he's actually started reading it.
Hey, it's not a good book holder. It's not a good table mat. You got to take it out and actually read it. That's a very, very good book.
I haven't read this. I need to. Actually, I more or less probably need to take the class. I really want to get involved in doing that. This is a great read. Boom, get that. Shout out to Tony Ayon, our broker, gave us that book. Really adamant about pushing us to do that and to read that book. So there's just a couple things I wanted to share with you. Jose, what are some books maybe that stick out for you, or podcasts?
You know what? There's one book that I read, The Millionaire Agent,
okay,
by Gary Keller.
Another good book. Another good
really
book.
Good book. So,
what'd you like about that?
Well, I like the fact that it explores more of the fact. I mean, it kicks pure truth, right? Like, no one would have bought the book if it said just the regular agent, and we're attracted to the millionaire agent. So not only that, but just the psyche behind being a millionaire agent. Everyone wants to be one, but they don't know what it takes to get there.
Mm-hmm.
This book literally lays down the blueprint.
Yeah.
Get out of your own way.
Yeah.
Your ego is not your amigo. Keep moving forward and actually do the work that no one else wants to do, so that way you can live the life that no one else does. But it's a very good eye-opener book. Shows you about money, how the thought process for a buyer's agent and listing process, what you can do. It's got Mike Ferry in there as well.
Oh wow.
And a couple, it makes a couple
Couple
of other very famous long-term realtors that have been in this for a long time, but it's a really good book, so I highly recommend it. Julian, you should make that one the top one, right up there with this one. This one first, and then The Millionaire Listing Agent by Gary Keller.
Get involved with some Grant Cardone too. I mean, that's
Oh,
100%. I mean, that guy takes it to the top. He's an eccentric guy.
Yeah.
But his podcast, his books, on the audio, I got Sell or Be Sold. That was a great book. That's on my audio. I thought that one was really good. It was a good read. He actually reads it himself, so I being able to hear him kind of give that works out great. Gary Vaynerchuk, Jab, 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 Right Hook. Jab, 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 Right Hook, I think is a foundation for marketing with Facebook, marketing for IG, marketing for Snap. I mean, all of that.
Like Snapple or
no, that's how I know you're 39.
I just want to know.
But
on that rabbit hole.
It's exactly what it sounds like. Jab, 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 and then you knock them out, and then you go in for it. And basically what that means is if you look at a lot of people's contents, it's like, I sell houses, or I sell this. All day long, they're just telling about their product. It's just like, I get it. Like, eventually you get unfollowed and no one wants to be your friend anymore because all you want to do is talk about.
It's boring when you talk about things over and over and over. So
he gives you a whole different spin on it. And I think, big suggestion to you. I think you should read it, especially since we're getting into this new podcasting and we are working off the same Facebook pages now.
You know what?
I think it's going to really help you out as far as getting it. That one's going to have your...
Never too late to learn, folks.
Never too late. And David Goggins can't hurt.
Man.
David Goggins is fired. This dude... I heard from him from the Joe Rogan podcast, but he's one of these like ultra marathon guys.
This guy is a real life Iron Man. I mean,
Navy SEAL, did it twice in 1 year, went through it. I mean, this guy ran, I think 100 miles without even like warming up for it. Pooped himself, bleeding, all that, just to qualify for something. I mean, this guy's a savage. He had the pull-up record.
Look it up. David Goggins, Google him, and you'll see
savage.
Like all his accolades, and you're like, holy crap, how can this guy do this so much? And he's like, this is my David Goggins impression, all right? He's like, it doesn't matter what you got to do. You got to go through it. If you're down in the dirt and you seem like all is lost, you got to fight through that. You know what I'm saying? Just keep moving forward and never, ever give up. That's me.
Right. You know, I tend to like the people that are going to just cuss you out and get in your face. They sound just like them, honestly. I seriously thought my phone was playing right now.
Okay, thank you.
But I mean, that's kind of what's coming out of my setup, and then I got my podcast. Any podcasts that you listen to in particular?
You know what? I know I listen to Joe Rogan. That's about the only one. I did listen to Danny Morel for a while, and I'll tune into that one. But there's so many out there, man. The only one I care to listen to is Put a Stamp on It podcast. So look for it on iTunes. It'll soon be coming on iTunes and Stitcher. So don't be shady. All right, so we're approaching our hour marker now. So
you gonna call it?
Yeah, we're gonna call it, man.
We have 3 minutes left. Anything you want to say?
Well, I just want to say thanks to everyone that's tuning in. You could be doing other things, but you're here with us, and I really want to thank you guys. And the only way this is gonna work. We're not getting paid for this at all. We're doing it because we want to share our thoughts with you guys, and if you can relate, then that's great. But the best thing that you can do to help us out and get us somewhere to anywhere is if you like it, follow us, share it with all your family, friends, coworkers.
Just one share. One sharing is
caring. That's it. Just one, right? And we'll make the world better. Who knows? But the thing is that we really appreciate you guys for tuning in. Friends, family, coworkers, business people, anyone out there. If this has helped you out, Mr. Gabriel Ellis, good content. Keep it up. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. So
if we didn't get to you, sorry about that. But we'll go back and recomment. Again, follow us. Facebook page is just going to be Put a Stamp on It. Now, follow us. We're going to share. And then on our IG, because someone took the name ahead of time, we had to change it up a little bit. But it's Put_a_stamp_on_it_podcast. We'll share that again. And follow us on YouTube at Put a Stamp on It. We're going to share them, follow, hit like, check the content out. We're going to try to bring you, 2 episodes a week?
Yeah. 2 weekly, so stay tuned. Please turn on your notifications because you don't want to miss it. Don't be that person at work that says, oh, what happened? I'm going to put a stamp on the podcast last night. Hey, buddy, you missed out. Sorry. Oh, my God.
But again, man, we appreciate everybody for joining in. Anybody's going to come back and watch it.
All right. Peace. Thank you.
And in the Facebook, and we're going to end the YouTube one.
And that's it.
Boom. Boom. All right. Cool. Okay.